England over Argentina, 39 points to 10. Unfortunately for this game, the officiating is probably going to be a topic. Not so much that the officiating was bad, but there was a key decision early which affected the game. If you haven't seen the game, there was a red card to Lavanini on 17 minutes, so Argentina played the majority of this game with a man down. It's another guy who gets a red card for a high shot on Owen Farrell. But it was a high shot on Owen Farrell. There wasn't really any mitigating factors, and he should have tackled him lower. It's pretty much as simple as that for the red card. And yeah, that was that. You can't be tackling people in the head like that. No matter who they are, no matter who you are, you got to go lower. Simple as that. So it actually started off pretty well early for Argentina. They had some early attacking play. Moroni had a line break, kick through. England had to force it back. There was a 5-meter scrum for England. Argentina got advantage. Cancellieri went out wide, but he was pushed into touch. But because they had the advantage, Argentina went back and took the early 3. So believe it or not, Argentina were in the lead of this game, 3 points to 0. 8 minutes, England start to get some pressure. They get a maul, they get advantage, and then eventually Johnny May goes over on the left wing. It's 5 points to 3 because they missed the conversion. And there were a few missed conversions in this one. 12 minutes, there's a bit of handbags going on because this game was pretty fiery. Handbags after, I think it was Matera, had a bit of a slight late shot on Ben Youngs. And, the English guys didn't appreciate that. There was a bit of handbags. But we get on with the game. But then a few minutes later, 17 minutes, Lavanini's shoulder, it goes into Farrell's head, and it's a red card. And like I said, no issues with it. It was a red card. Don't tackle like that. It's just not to be done. Although a minute later, on the clock, Tuilangi, after just being warned, because Nigel Owens was warning both sides about this kind of thing, not to do any stupid or careless, reckless stuff, Tuilangi tackles Boffelli in the air, which I thought was pretty poor. I thought that one could have been yellow if we're going to talk about officiating, which I don't usually like to spend my time doing. But it's just a penalty only. Even if it had been a yellow, England, I think, still go on to win this one pretty easily. Even if Lavanini doesn't get red, I think England still go on to win this one. I think that's just where the team's at. They've been looking class, to be fair. Game goes a wee bit scrappy from here. England start building some pressure from kind of the half an hour mark, and by the mid 30 minutes, they're really starting to look like they're going to score, and sure enough, they do. Daly gets his try on 36 minutes. They go out wide. There's a man over, but he didn't need him. Daly cuts back inside. Good little run, and they missed the conversion, so it's 10-3. So the kicks are keeping the Argentinians in touch because they're not getting the conversions. After the halftime, Hooters already sounded. England, again, they go 21 phases. And remember, this is a World Cup where slippery ball has meant teams are unable to build a whole lot of phases. England do it without really any issue. 21 phases. Youngs goes over. It makes it 15 points to 3. So top stuff from England there. Halftime they go in. Run meters 234 to 91 in favour of England. Possession 64%. Territory 70%. So it's all England. Tackling percentage. Both sides are in the 80s. So 88 for England. 84 for Argentina. 84 is really good for a team that spent half the half down a man. But look at the number of tackles. England 44 out of 50. Argentina 81 out of 97. So they were having to make a lot more. And penalties conceded 3 to England, 6 to Argentina. Second half, England go through the phases again. And this time it's Ford. He goes over, and it's a good conversion this time. 22 points to 3. One thing I forgot to mention is after Farrell got hit in the head by Lavanini's huge frame, I don't think he went off for an HIA, which struck me as peculiar. I would have thought if you're getting hit in the head, you should probably go off, especially because Lavanini is a big human. Unless I missed him going off. Correct me if I'm wrong. 47 minutes, I made a note that Ford put in a inch perfect kick to make the Argentinians have a line-out throw on their own 5-meter line. It was top stuff from him. A few minutes later, Farrell kicks a penalty on 53 minutes. Keeps the scoreboard ticking over for England. Interestingly, the New Zealand commentary team at this point start mentioning that maybe England are going to ease off a wee bit because the game's pretty much already won. They've got another big game coming up against France and another big game coming up, which will be a playoff or knockout game. So maybe they're starting to ease off a wee bit, conserve some energy. 63 minutes, and not long after Mako Vunipola has come on, first time we've seen him in a while, England conceded a scrum penalty, which was bizarre because, again, Argentina's scrum has not been the best of late, but they did. But Argentina, from memory, they didn't kick that ball out, which was kind of a fatal error again. I think it was Boffelli, and then Laws got penalised for a late tackle on Boffelli, like a late hit. He was trying to charge him down, and he followed through and got Boffelli. To be fair, I thought that one was a wee bit soft. I thought Boffelli went down pretty easily. But yeah, again, they get the penalty. This time they do kick it out, but then England win the line out. So just wasn't going Argentina's way, this one. England too good. 70 minutes, though, it finally goes right for Argentina. They pull off one of the best tries of the game. A nice little line-out move. There's lots of slick hands in the build-up. It's Moroni who goes over. So they do move to 10 points. Argentina get a little bit of respect back in the side to score with 14 men. But then maybe my favourite try of the game is 74 minutes. Noel, who's not been on that long, he has no rights to score. He runs into about 3 Argentinian defenders and just decides, like, no, I'm not going to be tackled. He bounces out and just goes on to score a try. Phenomenal effort from him. So yeah, that makes it, the conversion goes in off the post. It's 32 points to 10. And then just before full time, England have a maul. They go for the line out. The maul starts in Luke Cowan-Dickey. They just drive over. England's maul, far too efficient for the Argentinian defenders, who are a man down, remember. And 39 points to 10 is the way it finishes. So, again, England is trucking along. First big challenges of the game. They've ticked that box. It's unfortunate that most of the game was played with one man off for Argentina, but you can't tackle that way, so we never really get to see what would have happened. But again, England in this form are always going to be hard to beat. Final stats, England 59% possession, 67% territory, again dominant. Interestingly, the knock-on stats has been an interesting one because so many teams have had trouble. Like Fiji had 18 the other day, I think Ireland had 15, Australia had 12. England in this game, with all that ball, 5 knock-ons, whereas Argentina had 13. Impressive. Run meters 433 to 226. Tackling percentage for both teams remained in the 80s, but Argentina having to make a lot more. The goal kicking percentage for England was 50%, which is perhaps a wee bit concerning, but I think everyone has an off day from time to time. Individuals, Daly 114 run meters, 4 defenders beaten. May 81 run meters, 6 defenders beaten. I think Noel had 4 defenders beaten from his few minutes on the field. Underhill, I think he got man of the match, 16 out of 19 tackles. The next best Englishman was, I think, Itoje with 11, so Underhill was definitely putting in a big effort. But Kremer for Argentina had 19 out of 19, so top stuff from him as well. But yeah, England looking like the real deal. Argentina, I think, for all intents and purposes, are probably going to go out in the pool stages, which is unfortunate for them because they're a good team but haven't quite clicked this World Cup. I think they might be still in with a slim chance if Tonga beat France. But again, I haven't looked at the table for the maths. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this game. How did you think it went? How well do you see England going for the rest of the tournament? If you do want some England gear, I've got a link to the England Rugby store in the description. If you use the code 2cents10, you get 10% off any of that England gear in the England Rugby shop, so do have a look. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.